We have looked at the various components of fitness and why they are important to sports performance. Now we need to investigate how exercise intensity can be used and adapted to help develop these components of fitness. Topic 8.4. How can intensity be determined? For your external assessment, you will need to know how to measure exercise intensity as well as evidence how you've determined it. Exercise intensity is how hard you train. Everyone trains at different intensities depending on their fitness level, training goals, and required training outcomes. Training intensity is referenced by training zones. A target training zone is the range of heart rate values that should be worked within during training. These zones are based on an athlete's training goal. Someone training for aerobic endurance would need to work between 60 and 85% of their maximum heart rate. Someone looking to train their anaerobic fitness would be needed to train at 85 to 95% of their max heart rate. Someone looking to train in the speed zone would look to work at 95 to 100% of their maximum heart rate. Now in a later video we will address the types of training that are facilitate in these types of training zones. An example for aerobic endurance would be training of continuous training, as you'll be working for 30 minutes of moderate intensity without any rest periods. This would facilitate the heart rate being at 60 to 85% of its max. For exercise training zones to be worked out, you first need to know what your maximum heart rate is. The easiest way to do this is by subtracting your age from 220. This will give you an approximate maximum heart rate. For example, a 16-year-old's max heart rate would be 204 because 220 take away 16 was 204. From here you need to work out the required percent of your max heart rate to ensure that you are training in the correct zone. For the 16-year-old example, 60% of 204 would be calculated by finding 1%, then timesing that by 60 to give you 60%. Now this is of course only one way to find a percentage, but it might be the easiest way considering the fact you have a calculator in your external assessment. This would be 204 divided by 100 to give you 202.04. Times this by 60 to give you 122.4. That's his 60% or her 60% of her training zone. 85% would follow the same principle of 204 divided by 100 to then times that by 85 to give you 173. So the 16-year-old's aerobic training zone that they need to work within would be 122 to 173 beats per minute. Beats per minute is your unit of measurement that you must include to get full marks. Another way that exercise intensity can be used and monitored is using a rate of perceived exertion scale. This is a scale that uses numbers to rate how hard an activity is, hence gauging how intense you are working. The scale is from 6 to 20. 6 represents a rest period, so you're not working hard at all, you're not training. 20 is total exertion. Activities can be rated using this scale so that you can test how hard you're working or if you're working hard enough. This is then related to heart rate by multiplying the score you've given an activity by 10. For example, if you rated an activity to be 14, that would be a rough approximate that your heart rate should be around 140 beats per minute. This would still fall within the 16-year-old's training zone of aerobic endurance, as it falls between the 122 to 173 beats per minute target zone.